Good afternoon. This is the Community TV. Here the news update. From July 1st, the majority of the European member states have been reopening their borders to allow entry of travelers from non-EU countries deemed as safe into their territories. The decision was taken upon the recommendation of the European Union Council and the Commission on the 30th of June that the member states and the Schengen Associates reopen their borders for 15 countries evaluated as safe by the Union. The recommended countries are Algeria, Australia, Canada, Georgia, Japan, Montenegro, Morocco, New Zealand, Rwanda, Serbia, South Korea, Thailand, Tunisia and Uruguay, as well as China, which is subject to confirmation of reciprocity if the Chinese government in turn reopens its borders to the European residents. The countries are said to have had improved health situation and considered as safe as the risk of imported COVID-19 cases are low. These countries, according to the Council, will be reviewed and updated every 2 weeks and will be adjusted based on the latest information of coronavirus situation in each country, stating that the travel restriction could be reimposed for any of these countries if the criteria were no longer met. The travel restriction lifted on these listed countries was based on health criteria of each country's COVID-19 situation, containment measures, reciprocity condition, as well as economic and social considerations. However, upon evaluation review, on June 16, Serbia and Montenegro were removed from the list due to the rising number of new COVID-19 cases in these countries over the last 2 weeks of the recommendation. On the 16th of July, Algeria was also removed for the same reason. The numbers of third countries allowing by each state and which among them permitting entry into each European country vary and depends on individual member states as they are under no obligation to open borders to all the countries on the list. The member states are also permitted to grant entry according to the available data and national evaluation of each listed safe country. This has led to disparities in the list of safe countries granted entry by each member state. Germany had from July permitted entry to 11 of the 15 countries leaving out Serbia, Morocco, Rwanda and Algeria, and will give permission to the rest of the world coming to the country for essential purposes. Greece has also allowed entry for 14 of the safe countries and several EU states. The Portuguese authorities have also decided to give permission to tourists from the safe third countries. In May, the country announced to open borders for EU and Portuguese-speaking countries and selected countries outside the EU. Denmark only granted entry to 6 of the countries, which are Australia, Canada, Thailand, South Korea, New Zealand and Japan. The Swedish government will also grant 14 of the countries entry into its territory, excluding China. Iceland and Switzerland are to reopen borders for 14 of the countries, with latter leaving out Serbia. Finland has also lifted entry ban to allow travelers from 11 of the listed countries, leaving out Canada, Montenegro, Morocco, Serbia, and has permitted entry of selected EU countries upon national evaluation of those countries' health situation. Spain has left out 3 countries, Algeria, Morocco, and China, allowed entry of 12 of the safe countries into its states. Spain had in June reopened its borders to the EU and Schengen states. The Estonia government has also permitted 14 of the countries to enter Estonia and has decided to open borders for all world nationals who intend to come to the country for studying and working purposes, but has not still lifted its entry restrictions for the EU citizens, despite the EU Commission recommendation. However, from July 15, Malta has expanded its list to include 28 new countries, different from the EU recommended list of safe countries, which is called Safe Corridor countries, to allow entry into Malta for non-essential purposes. The eligible countries are Andora, Australia, Belgium, Bulgaria, Canada, China, Indonesia, Japan, Jordan, Lebanon, Monaco, Morocco, Netherlands, New Zealand, Portugal, Rwanda, San Marino, Slovenia, South Korea, Thailand, Tunisia, Turkey, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, and Uruguay, as well as Vatican City. According to reports, the countries, upon evaluation, have found it epidemiologically safe and that the travelers from these countries pose low threat of COVID-19 spread in Malta. The country had on July 1st reopened its borders to several EEA countries, which are Austria, Croatia, Cyprus, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Hungary, Iceland, Ireland, Italy, Germany, Greece, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Norway, Poland, Slovakia, Spain, and Switzerland. As of July 1st, the French government had decided to only allow entry for international students coming to study in France regardless of their country of origin, and also to open its Schengen area external borders. The country had earlier lifted its entry restrictions for EU and Schengen states, excluding Spain and the UK. France will also allow entry of residents different from the EU recommended list. These are travelers from the United States, United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Panama, South Africa, Kuwait, Qatar, Israel, Brazil, Peru, Serbia, Algeria, Turkey, Madagascar, India, and Oman, but are subject to requirements of COVID-19 negative test results taken within 72 hours of their arrival. The condition around entry restriction rules required, such as quarantine and COVID-19 tests, also differs in each state but will be applied according to the European laid-down procedures. According to reports, the decision for not granting entry to some of the countries in the list, such as Serbia, Morocco, Rwanda, Algeria, China, Canada, Montenegro, Spain, and the UK, were based on the assessment of the current health situation regarding coronavirus in these countries, and for some, it was due to a condition of reciprocity. However, other EU countries, such as Poland, Hungary, Australia, Belgium, Norway, and Netherlands, have not complied with the EU recommendation to open borders for the listed safe third countries, as it is not legally binding. Some of these countries, in their response to the EU, said that the current COVID-19 situation does not permit them to take such a step. Austria and Norway have only allowed entry of non-EU nationals coming into their countries for essential purposes, and some are yet to publish the countries of which residents will be allowed entry into their states. However, from June 15, Belgium reopened its borders to EU member states and the Schengen, including the UK, upon a recommendation of the EU Commission. Austrian government had from July removed the entry restriction for the travellers from 30 EU countries, including Schengen states, coming into the country. Ireland has not also granted entry to any of the recommended third countries. The UK residents will also be given the same treatment as the EU nationals until December 31st, when its Brexit transition period ends. In March this year, due to coronavirus outbreak, the European Union Commission recommended that the member states close all the EU ports of entry for non-EU and Schengen nationals, and since then, it has been extended several times until June 15, when the EU recommended opening of borders to EU citizens. On June 30th, the Commission also proposed a gradual removal of entry ban for non-EU countries ranked as safe. The decision was taken due to lower rates in the coronavirus infection in these countries in April and May. It however stated that lifting restrictions for the rest of the world, including the UK, will be based on the health situation and coronavirus response in those countries. You are watching the Community TV. Subscribe for more news updates.